got a quorum,
Yep.
so then let's start. Okay,
Okay,
all right, then we begin with a roll call.
Larry Hatton,
I'm here.
Margie Vanderberg, Jim Widmer,
Yeah, I'm here.
uh, Mary Ann Lobner,
Here.
Jane Held,
Here.
Kevin Francis,
Here.
Kevin Cast.
Okay, then next item on the agenda is an introduction of Amanda.
So we have on our Zoom call tonight, Amanda Masis, and she is our new circulation supervisor. I just wanted her to hop on and say hi to everyone. So hopefully we can meet in an actual live way soon. And you can all meet Amanda that way instead of just seeing her face on a screen. But Amanda, do you want to tell them a few things about yourself?
Sure. It's great to meet you. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to, I don't know, maybe in the next couple months get together. But I've been there so about a couple weeks now. So starting to get the hang of it and meet everybody and figure out the circ desk. Right when I started, I think about 4 days after I started, everything changed again. So I think it's sort of like a weekly routine of, okay, everything's changing again and now it's changing again. So, but we're doing great and it's great to be there. And I'm just really happy to be part of it and add my 2 cents. So yeah, looking forward to
You a
it.
hometown girl?
No, I'm from North Carolina. I moved from
Oh,
North
that's okay.
Yeah, from like a beach mountain area, but originally from Washington State. So
Wow.
yeah, but my mom's family's from Hickory in North Carolina, so she moved back to Hickory area, and then we just moved back up here. So we have a family member in Mansfield, Mansfield. So a little bit close to them, but
Yeah,
yeah, so it's great. It's great to be back over here.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
yeah, I met Amanda. She looks a little smarter than the average employee that we've got. So
Whoa.
Remember this?
she'll do well.
Aw.
Okay,
Thanks, Amanda.
yeah, you're welcome to stay. Reviewing proposals from the POD design.
So that came out, I think that was Wednesday morning. I sent that out. And so that's the proposal for what services will be done and how much that will cost. And Steve is on the call, who is responsible for that proposal and the process. And so we're looking at, for design and documentation, $18,500. And if we want them to oversee construction, $15,000. So that covers the design of the story walkout back and coming up with how much we can get for the $50,000 goal that we have, or at least I have, so we don't have to get into the next level of bidding and going into prevailing wages and things like that. And
That would be
perhaps-
Lindsay and Jan.
yeah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
The prevailing
Way to go,
wages, I don't know where I was going with that, but
next level.
phase. It would have potentially phases, so we could get, off the ground year one under $50,000, and then some ideas for what we could do in the future as we have funds to improve the site.
So what are your thoughts on what we're looking at here to do? I mean, we're obviously the story boards, but I mean, walkway, landscaping.
Trees.
Well, that would be part of what
Okay.
Pod would come up with, is what goes in that space.
Okay, so you're basically just giving him a blank slate. You're not giving
I mean,
him.
I gave him some ideas. We want some shade, native plantings, handicap accessible path, low maintenance. And so they would take those things and other considerations that need to be made into consideration when they come up with the design.
Perhaps a bench or two.
Are they going to, you might, I don't know, they'll probably think of this, but you might ask them about incorporating the reading garden area.
Yeah, we talked about that on the phone
Yeah.
call. He was looking at Google Earth and saw that spot, and we talked about incorporating that in. Maybe making that the starting point since it has the handicap ramp already up it.
In the past, we've had trouble with kids dry humping on the picnic tables. You know, so we need to be thinking about what we can do to deter that kind of activity. I know one of the things you can do is you get a benches to have the kind with like they have in the subways where there's like an armrest, like 2 armrests so that you can't lay down, that kind of stuff. Hey, it's an issue.
No, I believe it. Just
Didn't
fascinating.
we take all that out? Did we
that?
take all those out?
The picnic tables went to
Tables,
Marblehead.
yeah, yes.
Apparently your teens aren't quite as adventurous, or maybe they are elsewhere, I don't know.
Well, and what's his name that lives next door is always complaining about him.
Well, and his property is under contract to be sold, so
Okay, well, that's good.
I missed it. So we are getting rid of picnic tables?
they
No,
are
we're
already gone.
Okay, where'd they go?
Marblehead.
Okay,
out on the front patio.
good.
There's benches still there.
Yeah, there's bunches.
So you're looking for a head nod to go ahead from us today? or-
Yeah, approval to move ahead and get started with the design process and approval for that fee, because that's well over my authority.
Does that include both the 18.5 and the 15?
No, the 15 is separate, I
Okay.
believe. Steve, that's separate, right? I think. Yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
hi guys.
Oh, there he
Hi,
is.
Steve.
Hi, nice to meet everybody. Sorry for my my environment. I'm at my son's volleyball game. I noticed the outdoor classroom is empty, so I'm sitting out here for a minute before I go back in. But yeah, the 15 is we have it listed as an if authorized if you decide that you want us to help out with that that process, which would be weekly meetings with the contractor, getting up there during different milestones of completion. We weren't sure if you have within your staffing, if you already have somebody who maybe handles that stuff. So we put it in there. We use that service for a lot of our township clients that may not have a lot of staff, but totally up to you if you want us to do that, and we can decide that later on too. So it doesn't need to be figured out until we're ready to bid.
Okay, well, I'll need a motion to,
I got a question. How we're taking this out of the general funds? Is that where
Yeah.
the money's gonna come from?
So the idea is that part of it would come out of general funds. We'll do fundraising. We also had that couple sizable donations last year.
All right. Have you talked to the Friends?
The friends are aware, and they will likely donate something. I told them we'll talk about it when we have some real ballpark figures. But yes, they're
Yeah.
aware and are interested.
And then you have you said you had sizable donations.
Last year, yeah, we had some sizable donations come in.
Was that earmarked for that?
No.
No?
it's
How
just-
sizable?
Pardon?
How sizable?
Oh,
Jan, do you remember? I want to,
The one that came from the one estate was 10,000. We've also had the money that came in for Mrs. Leffler. that we've, we have not, we've obviously deposited it, but we have not actually earmarked that for anything. We did put money in the capital budget for this, and also in our contracted and professional services for the design work. So it is already in our budget. It's not going to be, we don't have to move any monies. It's not, we don't have to change anything with the county auditor. Lindsay and I knew that, and we put that into that we wanted to do this, so it's there.
Did you hear this, Steve?
I heard it. Yeah, that's a good starting point.
There you go. Okay. Any other questions?
So we would be voting on the 18.5?
Yeah.
Is that what we're approving? Okay.
Well, I'll need a motion.
I move to spend 18.5 as outlined on the
I'll second.
proposal.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Any, all opposed? So nobody's opposing it. Okay. So Lindsay, you gotta go ahead.
All right, Steve, I'll be in contact soon.
Steve, you got work.
Sounds
to
good.
do.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you. We look forward to
Alright.
seeing you guys with some ideas soon. Thanks.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hey.
Okay, good. Good to go forward with that. Any public comments?
No.
All right. We need an approval of last month's minutes. A motion to approve them.
I didn't see the
Thank-
minutes in my thingies.
Yeah, they were there.
Were they there?
Yeah, I read them.
Oh. I saw the director's
I
report.
move,
Okay.
All right,
I move, Larry.
I need a second.
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Staff recognition. Staff employment anniversaries is Susan Duff, 5 years, and Jamie. I'm gonna sleep. I gotta put my
Seabrook.
Glasses on. Seabrook. And she's 4 years. That's great. Now, did I read right further on that Susan is leaving us?
Gay Pippert is
Oh,
resigning.
Gay, I got it mixed up, yeah. Okay. Then review, discussion, and approval of financial report.
Okay, so again, one more time, we're doing really well. We're year to date, we're ahead on our revenue receipts. We're behind on our spending, which is always a great way to go for both of those. You don't want them the other way. We're going to be picking up some expenditures for the summer with summer reading coming up, but most of that basically is actually funded by the Friends donation. So that nets out to zero for us. We're now back on full time for everybody starting as of May 1st. So you'll see on a monthly basis that our salaries will be going back up, salaries and wages, because now people are working, their full scheduled hours. So, you'll, as I said, you'll see that coming up, but even that's not going to be, a huge increase. It was already anticipated in the budget that at some point we would go back to full time. And I think we had put it in starting June 1st. So, but we always make sure we put a fudge factor in there to make sure if things change earlier. And so, we're good with that. I did move some money back down to Columbus to the Star Ohio account because we had way too much money in Huntington. So I brought that down by about 500,000 so that we weren't, it made so little interest. Not that the Columbus stuff makes tons more, but it's definitely more. And I don't want us to, run the risk of having too much money and something happens and we're not protected with the FDIC insurance.
Okay. Any comments, questions? If not, then we need a motion to approve the spending.
So moved.
Did I have a second, please?
Okay,
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve this report. All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Opposed?
all together now.
Okay. Then donations to the library.
April was a bit low for donations, but we did receive 15 from the Ciaccelli family in memory of Helen Nemechek.
Okay. It's always welcome. Director's report.
So in the line of donations, we received notice that the estate of Sandra Van Voorhees has bequeathed 25% of her estate to the library in memory of her husband, Eugene Philip Van Voorhees. And that donation is earmarked to be used for the purchase of library materials. The exact value of the estate's not been determined yet, but the lawyer was estimating, what was it, 200,000 to 300,000?
For the total of the
total, yes.
estate, yes. So we would get 25% of that.
So that was exciting news and always out of the blue, unexpected. She was a teacher in Columbus for many, many years, but grew up and was born in Port Clinton. And so it's just surprising sometimes how people go back to their roots for things like that and not necessarily where they lived the biggest chunk of their lives. So that was a very pleasant surprise. Jan and I have been working with Ohio Plan to continue with working on the personnel policy. We've had a few very productive meetings. I think after the next meeting at the end of the month, we'll be about halfway through. And they have found some issues that definitely needed addressed and things that weren't legal and compliant. So I am happy that we went ahead with having them review our policy. So we're meeting again with them, I think on the 20th, but that's coming up soon and we continue to work on that. You met our new circulation supervisor, Amanda. She started on the 27th. Lynda.com migrated to LinkedIn Learning. And I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but it's all a blur at this point. Prior to COVID, there was a big controversy over Lynda becoming LinkedIn because LinkedIn was going to require all library users to create a LinkedIn account. And of course, the libraries did not like that. So a bunch dropped their services, or a bunch said, we're not renewing when it comes up, and they relented and now do not require the LinkedIn profile to go with using LinkedIn Learning. So it's basically the same thing as lynda.com with a new name. And youth services, they worked on activity bags here at Idarup. Story times continued on. Kristen took those over after Terry's retirement, and those continue on Facebook. And she'll be doing those live on Wednesday mornings, starting next month down at Meals on Madison. Elena found a hit, finally, yay, to get some teens to do something here. And that was paracord bracelets. So she's going to do that again in person downtown this summer. And staff have been working very hard to finalize all of the last minute details for summer. Adult services, Martha made some really cute take and makes, a garland wreath. There was a display of native plants, and you could take home a packet of native seeds with your display items. Out at Marblehead, Erin was approached to do a story walk at the Meadowbrook Marsh. The township gave approval for that. I have asked to tap the brakes a little bit on that, so we can get our story walk underway a little bit and also get some of the other things off my plate before we start jumping into that. So she has let them know that, we'd like to do it, but need a little bit of time to get that done. Another facilities issue out at Marblehead. The water heater stopped working, so Oler and Holzhauer went out there to address that. That was a simple problem of a tripped something or another. But in that process, they found a gas leak for the fireplace. And so the gas is currently turned off while we get Oler and Holzhauer lined up to fix that gas leak. And I'm glad they discovered it before it became a safety issue or a health issue. Erin's also going back to in-person visits to the kids at Danbury and their classrooms. So I know she's really excited about that, and the kids are really excited about that. And she's also been hearing a lot of very positive feedback about being open on Wednesdays. So I think that Wednesdays will probably be there to stay.
I was just at a book club and they were talking about being open on Wednesdays. So they're excited.
Good.
Yeah, I think it only makes sense if we can do it to do it. So
Yeah.
Adidiri Islands, Karen is having a sidewalk book sale to go with the island-wide garage sale this Saturday. They're getting ready for summer as well. And as Larry asked about somebody resigning, Gay Pippert out on the island has put in a resignation. And those are the major updates. There is a list of trainings, which with everything being online, those are really easy to attend right now. April stats, we finally saw an increase from
Yeah.
year to year because we
Hooray.
were closed all of April of last year. But hey, we'll take it. But I mean, nothing super out of the ordinary there. We're not seeing the huge increases I would like to see, but maybe with more hours and now things being lifted, people will come back in. We can only hope. Program attendance. Be excited to have some real live in-person programs to add to the list starting in June. Things that are happening this month, still with our virtual and take and makes and Zoom type stuff. We did have a couple of features in some newspapers. Jan sent out press releases about our hours being extended, and so Fremont News Messenger picked that up. There was a Port Clinton News Herald about our May events, and the Beacon then also picked up the story about our hours changing. And yeah, that was the end of that. Any questions? No? All right. Larry, are you frozen?
Okay, well then I'll take over. I'm the vice president.
All right.
Well, I don't think there are any committee reports, are there?
No, we didn't have any committee meetings.
Okay, then we're ready for items for discussion, the county PLF letter.
So it's time again to do the PLF letter this year. It starts with us. And so I've typed up the agreement we've had for many, many years, which would be that we get half of the county's PLF, with Oak Harbor getting 20 and Harris Elmore getting 30. If we approve that, it gets sent on to the other two libraries for approval.
We don't normally vote on that, do we?
It has to be signed off, saying that,
Yeah,
I
the
don't know.
president usually signs it, but I don't remember if we voted or not.
I guess we can, and then if we don't need it, we're better to be covered
Yep.
than not.
Yep. All right, then, is there a motion to sign that letter?
I'll move.
Jane
Second.
seconds.
Oh, technically, we don't have a quorum, but,
You have 4 right now. You have a quorum.
oh, is Kevin here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kevin's
he's
here.
here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion
Okay, I'm
carries.
sorry, I missed who moved and seconded.
Mary
I
Ann and
moved.
Jane.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry. Okay, Star Plus change to government insured deposit program.
Yes, we had gotten notice a month or so ago from the state that the Star Plus program was going to be discontinued because at the time it was established, the investment firm that handled it was the only one who offered something of that kind. But in the meantime, other investment firms have added that portfolio to their investment options. So to be fair, the state decided to end Star Plus. And what they've come up with instead is that if, I'm not quite sure how this fixes things, but they came up with the government insured deposit program. And all we have to do is sign the agreement and our money will automatically just get moved from Star Plus to the very same company, Meter Investments, is going to call it government insured deposit program. So same investment firm, our account numbers stay the same. Or we could go through and figure out who we want to do this ourselves. My recommendation is we just transfer over to government insured deposit program. I don't think we would find something that would be significantly better. And I'm not even sure how we would go about finding who they are. Everything stays the same with them in terms of how they make sure that don't have too much in any one entity because they're the ones who invest it so that we're under FDIC. So my recommendation is we just do this because it's much simpler and it will continue things for us. It won't be any different than what we've been doing so far. So what I need to do is right now in January when we do our organizational meeting, we always make a motion to name, we list them off as to where we can invest our monies. I would like to add government insured deposit program to that list so that until the transfer happens, we're still legal to have Star Plus and also then have government insured. And then in January, we can take Star Plus off the list and make sure GIDP is in there.
All right, discussion. No discussion. Is there a motion to approve this?
Jane moves.
Jane moves. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Kevin seconds. Any further discussion? Not all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Same sign, motion carries.
Oh, who's
Take
that?
over, Larry.
Hey, I'm
Larry's back.
remember me?
We moved on.
Okay. I don't know what happened. It just
We just
died.
renamed the library after you, Larry.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Just be sure
Your
to
vice
spell it
president stepped up to the plate.
Okay, Larry, we're ready for the OLC virtual trustee town halls.
right.
Under
Okay,
items for discussion.
All right, so that is me just wanting to make sure that everybody saw that information from OLC. And essentially, because they can't do the trustee dinners, they're doing a town hall. And they're also doing this right now because the House did not increase the library PLF percentage in their version of the budget. So now it's lying on the Senate. And so they have all of these senators who are the guest at these town halls. And our state senator, Teresa Gavarone, is one of those on May 24th. So if you can attend, I encourage you to attend. We need as many voices as we can to let them know that we want to maintain the PLF at 1.7% and would really appreciate it if they would change their budget for the next biennium to do so, because otherwise we'll be losing funds again. And if you need help registering, let me know, but that PDF I sent out has a link there to take you to the OLC page to register. But if you'd like, let me know and I can get you registered too.
Okay. Any about edits to phase reopening plans?
So this is fun now because everything changed last night with the governor saying that all of the health orders, except for those for nursing homes, are out the door on June 2nd. So right now we're operating under phase 3. We made some of these changes when we came back to full time. So the biggest changes are we're letting people on the computers for an hour. We stopped taking temperatures because out of the months we did it, only one person was hit with having a temperature. And I don't even think she had a legitimate fever. She has some medical conditions that I think actually caused the elevated temperature. So then I had this plan that we would, move phases based on the colors of the county. Today, Ottawa County went to orange. But I don't even know how long they're going to keep track of that. The masks are going out the door on June 2nd. So my recommendation is, unless the board objects, is to stop requiring the public to wear masks on June 2nd, because otherwise it's just going to be a constant battle. And I don't think any of our staff want to have that battle. They're already fighting with us because they're vaccinated. And now that the CDC said that you don't need to wear a mask indoors, it's going to become a battle until June 2nd. So the changes to this, phase 4 might even happen before we get to June 2nd, since we went orange today. So for orange next week, then we could move to phase 4. But really, I think we probably just move to phase 5 on June 2nd without the masks and open up seating.
Are you gonna quit
Quarantine.
quarantine?
The books?
Yep, we'll quit quarantine. We're down to 24 hours on quarantine right now. And basically open it up minus the programs, because we've already planned for the next 2 months to be outdoors for those. And we don't have time to readjust for that since that ship has already sailed.
And we've already made that commitment, so.
Yeah. And
But you'll start letting groups use the meeting room?
well, and I'm thinking maybe leave the meeting rooms a little bit longer too. But as far as like the public spaces of the library, maybe return that back to normal. Phase 6 is where the meeting rooms come back. But yeah, all of this just basically went out the window last night.
What do you need from us?
If anybody objects to doing away with masks, I'd like to hear that, or any of the other things that will come up with it. If you think meeting rooms need to be open on June 2nd, or if you think it's okay to wait on that.
Sooner
Depends
the
on the
better, as
groups.
far as I'm
Well,
concerned.
there won't be any state. So it'll just be us saying we're not gonna do it yet.
Jim, would you move closer to your speaker?
Sure.
And make your statement again.
It's not the state. It'd just be us saying we're not gonna let people use the meeting rooms, right?
Yeah,
But they've all been doing without up until now, so I don't know if another month it's gonna hurt or not. I mean, I don't know how many people are gonna complain. It's not like they're,
It's actually only a couple of weeks.
yeah.
I know the genealogy group meets, I think June and July, no, June, and then they do a field trip, but
Have they been
I don't know
having
what they're
meetings?
doing. Huh?
Have they been having meetings?
No, because they meet at the library.
Yeah.
So you're saying meeting rooms not until August 1st?
I don't have, I guess, a hard date, but not necessarily with June 2nd. I don't know if we, every time I come up with a measure, they change how they're doing things, and
I don't
Yeah.
think you can keep those closed until August. Especially
I
with
think you
the
open 'em
president
June
coming
2nd.
out. Huh?
I think you just open them June 2nd. The only thing I would recommend is that we have some sort of signage or something that encourages people to do social distancing and minimize contact, because that's the real issue with spread. I mean, if you follow that, that's pretty much the safest measures to take anyway.
Kevin,
Well,
you
we're
said
not gonna be
signage for,
requiring that in the library itself, so.
I
well,
think
we
keep
can
that,
still
Jim.
encourage it.
In the more
Yeah.
intimate setting of the meeting rooms, we may want to put up some basic thing that says, you know, the best way for COVID to spread is through physical contact. So, you know, just practice safety, wash your hands, minimize contact. Don't breathe on each other's necks, you know, whatever. I mean, but if we don't want to do anything, we can do nothing, but that's the only real major way to spread it.
Jim, I couldn't understand what you had said. People were talking over you. I missed it.
Okay. I say a lot of stuff, but I never listen to myself. Oh, I know, we're not going to be requiring people in the library itself to be social distancing and avoid contact. I don't see any problem with posting a thing encouraging them to do it, but we're certainly not going to be policing that.
No, especially with the CDC today and the President Biden coming out and saying, everything's cool. You don't have to wear a mask indoors or outdoors. And they're basing it on the science.
If you're vaccinated.
If you're vaccinated.
Yeah, I need to qualify that. Yeah. If you're vaccinated.
Yeah, if everybody feels opening meeting rooms June 2nd is the thing to do, that's what we'll do.
Well, when do we, you have the authority to change it. If you want to wait until the next meeting.
I think it's just going to cause trouble for Lindsay if we don't open up on the 2nd.
I don't know, how many groups do you think are champing at the bit to get back in there?
A lot.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So we'll definitely have our next meeting in the meeting room.
That was
Or
on
in
the
the
agenda,
library.
yes, but yeah, that room, now that we're only quarantining for 24 hours, is open.
Okay,
And so, yeah, we can definitely go back in there, and
be great.
I just wanted to know if everybody was comfortable with that before we
Well,
decided. but-
I'm comfortable. I don't really see a reason not to start letting people come in, but I'm certainly willing to leave it up to your discretion. And then if you're getting too much heat and you decide you want to say, okay, fine, then okay, fine.
Anybody else have comments?
The courthouse is opened up with jury trials, but everybody's sitting 6 feet apart. And So far, everybody has to wear a mask, but that's gonna end.
Mhm.
Yeah, the biggest thing is policing those meetings and we're not going to. So
Right.
it'll be on the groups. We don't have a bailiff to say, get over there.
Right, right.
And the courthouse send one over?
So Lindsay, what have you just heard?
It sounds like there's support to go back June 2nd, but I've also heard that, decision can be up to me.
That's my feeling. All right, yeah, this doesn't call for a motion, but
Well, why don't you just take it under advisement and then let us know what you decide you're gonna do?
Will do.
And a lot of groups don't meet in the summer, so,
Right.
they might
Yeah.
just want to start signing up for September.
okay. I guess that, so our next meeting, we can have, in person,
Yeah, we have the room if that's what y'all want to do.
and we're gonna use the big room.
Yeah, we'll use the big room. We had already, like right before COVID,
Right.
moved over to there, so Jan didn't have to sit down in the hole away from the table.
Yeah, I don't wanna be close enough where
Yep.
Jim can hit me.
Freeze it again.
I think he was hurling an insult at Jim when he froze, so maybe
Yeah, he
it's not
missed
bad that he froze.
What?
All right, well then we need a motion to adjourn.
So
Okay.
moved.
Well, actually, Jane waved, so moved, so
All right,
Okay,
we'll count you as a second, Jim.
all right.
all right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Okay, opposed? All right. Well, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Aye.
See you in June.
Bye, thank you.